Hello, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Sorry if we had to end that previous stream. We're having a little bit of a glitch here for round one. Our sincerest apologies, but they have gone through qualifying. We'll go straight into that grid for you for round one, season two of the RayWhite Gayndah Australasian SUPERCAR eSeries. Darren McKenzie will take the pole position with Troy Davidson on the outside of that front row. Raymond Jaeger out of third position with Justin Witcher, his teammate, out of four. Scott Rankin will start out of the fifth position. Aaron Dillon out of P6. Sam Katakouznos out of seven. Gary Wellman out of 8. Dwayne Priest will start out of the 9th position. Stephen Williams out of 10. Sean Hart out of 11. Cade Donnelly out of the 12th position as we roll across the grid. So out of the 13th position will be Terry Marwood with Pete Matson, RayWhite Gayndah from 14. Andy Barber and Nigel Payton will take the 15th and 16th starting positions for round one. Christopher Finlay there in 17th. Jamie Nankervis in 18th. Matty Simpson will start out of the 19th position. Warwick Sharp will start out of 20. Shannon Wright out of 21. Joe Torcasio out of 22. Brett Campbell from Aussie Esports out of 23. Greg Spencer from Pinnacle Esports Racing 24. 25 will be Evan Horswell, followed by the Ian Class out of 26. Max Riley will start out of 27. Philip Howe out of 28. Matt Payton out of 29. Blake Tilbrook out of 30. As the grid keeps going, ladies and gentlemen, it's a sensational field here for round one. Tom Pritchard out of 31. Aaron Bryan, 32. Ash Nessa out of 33. John Class will take up the 34 starting position. Derek Jacobs out of the United States of America out of 35. Michael Shaw out of 36. As that is your 36 grid starting order here for the Australasian SUPERCAR eSeries. Round one, season two, to you by RayWhite Gayndah right here on the Indosim Esports Network. I do apologise to you, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes our streaming does stuff up on us, and it's no fault of our own, but you missed the intro and everything, but we'll be sure to give that back to you next week, and you'll see all that awesome images and videos that we created for round one of season two. But let's get back to it. It will be Darren McKenzie off the pole, Troy Davidson on the outside of that front row, Raymond Jaeger with a good qualifying in P3, and your reigning champion, he's sporting the number one this season, ladies and gentlemen. He is Justin Witcher on the outside of that second row, so it is a Pinnacle Esports Racing second row lockout. Aaron Dillon out of P5 with Scotty Rankin. They'll round out the third row. Fourth row will be Gary Wellman and Sam Katakouznos, Stephen Williams, Dwayne Priest rounding out your fifth row as we're about to go green for the first time for season two of the Australasian SUPERCAR eSeries from Chicagoland Speedway. Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen, who's going to take home the spoils here tonight. It's 134 laps of SUPERCAR madness around Chicagoland Speedway, and we are green for the first time of season two, and we're already three wide. Justin Witcher showing his intentions early, and he's going three wide into turn one. No room for him around there, but it's the usual sight. Darren McKenzie taking the lead early in this one. But we know, Paul, that it definitely doesn't stay this way. It definitely doesn't. These cars, or these drivers in these cars around these oval tracks, really want to make moves and not stay where they are. And you can see that as they're fanning out through 3 and 4 for the first time. So they're making their way down through the tri-oval to take the second lap of the race. So ladies and gentlemen, it is settling down a little bit here. We'll just let them play out as we nearly have a car go up the inside of someone there. But as I mentioned, season two, RayWhite Gayndah back on board for season two as the naming rights sponsor for the Australasian SUPERCAR eSeries. So we're very excited for the Australasian SUPERCAR eSeries for RayWhite Gayndah to be a part of season two once again. We do have the Sim Racing Edge. You can see their livery or their logo there on the leaderboard, ladies and gentlemen. The Sim Racing Edge has come on board, and they will sponsor the leaderboard for the entirety of season two of the Australasian SUPERCAR eSeries. Of course, your reigning champion or defending champion Justin Witcher and Witcher Electrics are back on board to sponsor this one as well. So thank you so much to the sponsors. But back to the point of the motor race. Troy Davidson has taken the lead. Darren McKenzie's already flashing the headlights saying, come on, boys, let's race. Raymond Jaeger, he doesn't want to sit behind Troy Davidson. He sends it up the inside through turns 1 and 2. Darren McKenzie just trialling that high line early, seeing how that 02 Southern Stars racing car handles that outside line. Looks like he got a good run off too that time. but that's allowed Troy Davidson just to get a little bit of a run there at the front. So just a bit of insight. While they're racing, we might bring up the track notes for tonight. We didn't get to do that earlier as the stream had to start a little bit later. It is 134 laps around Chicagoland tonight, 75% fuel. One extra set of tyres over the fence, so they will have to double stint a set of tyres. No fast repairs as per usual. Green, white checker, one if needed. Myself and Paul Jackson in the booth. It is 1.5 miles in length, 2.41 kilometres, and it is 9:16 p.m. in the sim world. So there is our little quick wrap up there of the track notes tonight. But I tell you what, Troy Davidson doing well out the front there at the moment. Darren McKenzie's now made the move up on Raymond Yeager into the third position. Aaron Dillon's made a couple of spots up after starting P6. He's in P4 at the moment. So the Sim Boys racing cars back at the point of the Australasian Supercar eSeries. Nothing we're unusual, I don't even know what I'm saying. Nothing that we're not used to seeing here on the InterSim Esports Network for the Australasian Supercar eSeries. You can't see Dwayne Priest there, or is that, no, sorry, that is, Dwayne Priest there in the 777, just sitting in behind Stephen Williams. Stephen Williams comes into season 2, if you don't remember, after winning the Indianapolis final round, which was the 500, and he won that one, if you don't remember, by 0.001 of a second over Cade Donnelly. So Stephen Williams back for season 2. He's having a solid start there at the moment. Brett Campbell, great run down the inside. So Brett Campbell from Aussie Esports started out of 14th. He's now up 9 spots. He is started out of 23rd. He's now up 9 spots into 14th. So he's having a great run early in this one. Brett Campbell in the 015 entry. Shannon Wright also, as we were mentioning the big movers early in this one, the 230 of Shannon Wright sporting a different number this season, just to throw us out a little bit here on the InterSim Esports Network. He is up 11 spots on his 21st starting position. He's in 10th at the moment. We'll go back and have a look at some of the other big movers. Derek Jacobs, our United States of America friend, he is up 13 spots as well, but we've got our first caution of the night here for round 1, season 2 of the Australasian Supercar eSeries, Paul.
Yeah, 9 laps in, first caution. So why don't we jump back to the simracermerch.com replay there, Aiden, and we'll have a look. If I got that right.
You got that right. That is the sponsor of the replay, ladies and gentlemen. Simracermerch.com. We'll jump across to that and let you know and show you what brought out the first caution of the night. Only lap 9 of 134. We'll see if we can do that. So it's now working. We've got everything happening here. So they're going through the corner there. You can see Pete Matson on the outside in the RayWhite Rural Gayndah entry. Looks like, that's a Southern Stars Racing. 05 of Andy Barber got loose there, and it looked like that Pete Matson just took some avoiding action there. There's another car caught up in that one. That looks like Jamie Nankervis is caught up in that one early, and his supercar is now shortened by about a third. So not the way that they wanted to start their campaign. So Paul, simracermerch.com, of course, coming on board as the replay sponsor. Thank you so much to them. But caution already, mate, lap 10. You know what that could mean. We could be able to start it early. Let us know on the stream, ladies and gentlemen, if we start our famous InterSim Esports Network trivia. We love our caution trivia. Let us know if you want us to keep doing our trivia. We'll be sure to do that. We do have questions lined up for you, but lap 10 of 134, Paul. Troy Davidson, Scott Rankin, Aaron Dillon, Terry Marwood, and Warwick Sharp, if you don't mind. 15 spots up on his starting position. New name to the Australasian Supercar eSeries. He's up into 5th already after 10 laps. And Philip Howe in the 96, he's up 22 spots in 6th. And Derek Jacobs now up 28 spots. But it looks like half the field has gone through pit lane. The first ones of those who will come out on track after their pit stop will be Darren McKenzie, and he'll be in the 12th position. So it's already strategy early on, ladies and gentlemen. Dave Douglas, see you tuning into the stream, mate. Thank you very much. He's got a question. Where is Mr. Aaron Dillon? Well, I can tell you Aaron Dillon at the moment is sitting in 3rd position, mate. So He is sitting in third. Doesn't look like we want... what do we got here? Crash started on Andy, not his week. Andy Barber has had an unfortunate week, actually. So, unfortunate start for Andy Barber and Jamie Nankervis. We can't do the Indosim Esports Network trivia this time round, Paul. They're already starting to form up too wide. You can see that the lights are off the pace car. So we've had our first caution. It is season 2. As I said, round 1 of the Australasian SUPERCAR eSeries. Your location is Chicagoland Speedway in Illinois, just southwest of Chicago in real life and also in the sim world. So we will go restarting this race once again. Lap 11 of 134. Taking us to the green will be Troy Davidson and Scotty Rankin off that front row. Aaron Dillon and Terry Marwood will restart this race in the second row. Philip Howe, Warwick Sharp, the third row. Keep an eye on Warwick Sharp. He's made a few positions up early, but in saying that, he didn't come in under the yellow flag. So the starters are in Troy Davidson's hands. We're going to go green for the second time, and we do go green here on the Indosim Esports Network for the Australasian SUPERCAR eSeries. Troy Davidson getting the jump once again over Scott Rankin, who's just been held out there a little bit on that outside line. Aaron Dillon's going to want to work with his teammate Troy Davidson just to get that second place move done, and we've seen that happen. So Aaron Dillon up into P2, and we've got our second caution of the night here for the Australasian SUPERCAR eSeries. So we will go back to the simracermerch.com instant replay in a minute and show you what brought you the second caution of the night. Not the way that the drivers would have wanted to start round 1, Paul, but the simracermerch.com instant replay is up, and we'll see what brought out the caution. So they're making their way through turns 3 and 4. Looks like it's just 3 wide. Sorry, 1 and 2 rather. Kay Donnelly turned around down the back straight. Pete Matson looks like he's involved in that as well in the RayWhite Rural Gayndah entry. There's a car down the inside there. That's a Pinnacle Esports Racing entry in a different livery this year. Raymond Yeager, he got out of that one by the looks of that, but Pete Matson, not the way he wanted to start his night. He has been involved in everything. So, Paul, I tell you what, 2 cautions. We're only 12, 13 laps into this one. Not the way that the guys would have wanted to start that.
Definitely not. But Steve Hoppett's got the first question here for you, Aiden. Which famous prison is in the same city as Chicagoland?
I actually think I know that, because I've been watching with Prue a lot lately. I've been watching...
Prison Break?
No, I've been watching actually people on death row. Pardon the dark side of me, but anyway, I've been watching that. Which one could it be? I reckon it could be Stateville Correctional Centre. I don't know. There's probably 4 or 5 around there. I know that there's only a couple that do max in Chicago, I believe, or am I thinking Florida? I don't know, but Hoppett, let me know if I'm right or wrong. What do you reckon, Paul?
Oh, I don't know. Let's go Penn State. I don't know.
Penn State Correctional Centre. It could be something as simple as Chicago. It could be something similar as, yeah, but we're trying to get all technical here. But anyway, there we go. We're getting the viewers tuning in and giving us a few questions here. And I tell you what, Steve, you've got us guessing. So that was my answer, but we'll see what the answer is. Dave Douglas having a conversation with him as well. Dave Douglas calling out Aaron Dillon, reckons Aaron Dillon, Mr. Donut Man, as Dave calls him, Donuts. He likes a good skid, Aaron Dillon. He reckons he's going to win this one. So, have we ever seen the Blues Brothers, Paul? Have you seen the Blues Brothers? Steve Hoppett's commenting, saying, have we seen the Blues Brothers?
Original or remake? I think there was a remake to that movie as well. So,
well, I haven't seen any, to be honest, so I'm out of this one. Dave Douglas has answered that question too, Paul. He's said whether it's Folsom. I don't know.
Joliet State Prison, and...
Well, of course it's...
Sounds like Aiden's just had a little drop out there on his mic. I'm sure I saw Steve. You said something about Joliet earlier in a comment or something, possibly as well. So maybe we should have taken the hint on that. It looks like Aiden might have just had a bit of a dropout. I know he did have some internet issues just before the broadcast started. Oh, I got to get technical, Dave. But you might have to come join me in the booth here, Dave, if you want to jump in, if Aiden doesn't jump back. But this time round, I think the pace car lights should be going out, and Troy Davidson is going to take us to green once again. Well, feel free, Dave, to jump in, but we are going green flag racing in just a moment as we're coming around turn 3 now. It's going to be a Simboys 1 and 2 controlled start here. So as the pace car pulls off, the Simboys of Troy Davidson and Aaron Dillon are going to control this restart. Got Scotty Rankin and Terry Marwood in P3 and 4 there, and pace cars off, and we are going green as green drops, and we're away. Aaron Dillon just slotting in there in front of Scotty Rankin. Terry Marwood up on the high side there. Big cut down there onto the inside. Looking to get the run down the inside here of Scotty Rankin, and Aaron Dillon going for a big dive there. Making his way up into P3. Let's go a little bit further back. We got Warwick Sharp there in the front in P5. Derek Jacobs, P6, Philip Howe there, and we do have another caution come out. So let everyone settle in here, and it doesn't look like that's actually flagged anything. So let's have a look. Aaron Bryan's jumped into pits. Just see if we can go back and have a little bit of a look-see here, see what happened. We'll bring up the simracingmerch.com instant replay and try and see if I can grab what happened at that replay. Looks like possibly, I wonder if Aaron Bryan there just maybe had a stop on the track, and no, Aaron's come into pit lane there. Not too sure if anyone's got the inside info on that. We might have to drop a comment there, see if we can find out what happened for that caution.
And Paul, I am back with you, mate. So I'm sorry for that. The internet decided it wanted to turn itself off.
That's all right. We got another caution here, so
I'm back with you, ladies and gentlemen. I apologise for that one.
Well, while you were gone, we did maybe a lap.
Definitely. Not sure if you've got me there, Paul.
Yeah, got a copy.
Sorry, mate. I'm trying to fix up my end. The old internet is playing up, but looks like we're back on board now. So hopefully you can all hear me and didn't miss my dulcet tones while I was gone. Thanks for covering me there, Paul, but we're under caution once again, 20 into 134.
Yeah, and just working on getting a little bit of a special guest into the booth here, Aiden. Just in the background, gonna just get a backup just in case you drop out once again there.
Yeah, come on, Mr. Douglas, jump in, mate. I can see you in there on the stream, so jump into the broadcast booth and help us out. I'll keep a lookout for him and bring him up. Hopefully I'll be right, but Dave, if here he is, I'll bring him up in. Mr. Dave Douglas, thank you, mate, for jumping into the broadcast booth.
What's going on, mate?
Oh, hey, champion.
Some trouble's going on.
Mate, the old internet just decides to do things when you don't want it to, but thanks for jumping in and helping out, just in case it goes pear-shaped my end.
Well, that's it, mate. I thought I'd jump on. It's pretty easy to get on and just jump on the stream. I just had to get into Discord, though, because I wasn't in the Discord. I was trying to work out where you were.
Well, let us know if you need any live timing links or anything that you want, mate. We'll give that to you, but I might actually just send that to you anyway, but... Mate, we're on.
Stick around for a bit.
Yeah, righto. No dramas. I'll send that across to you. But we're under caution once again. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, the Australasian Supercar eSeries brought to you by RayWhite, Wirral, Gayndah, which are electrics. And of course, the Sim Racing Edge coming on board this season, and they are sponsoring the live leaderboard. So thank you to the Sim Racing Edge, and thank you, Dave Douglas, for jumping into the chat. So, mate, you've done a little bit of commentary previously on different networks, not so much of the supercars around Oval, so something a little bit different for you, mate.
Oh yeah, mate, absolutely. Just jump straight in the deep end, mate. As I said, Paul was sort of looking for answers there, so I thought I'd help him out by jumping in, and but then you showed up as well, so I'll stick around for a bit, mate. What a bit of fun, eh?
Yeah, mate, it will be a bit of fun. These cars are good to drive around ovals and definitely does give you really good racing, 2-3 wide action. I've sent you across that live timing link so you can have a look at that if you want to. So lights are out on the pace car, guys. It will be Troy Davidson, Aaron Dillon, Simboys front row, bringing to you to the green once again for round 1, season 2 of the Australasian Supercar eSeries. Terry Marwood, Scott Rankin on the second row, Derek Jacobs, Warwick Sharp in the third row, Darren McKenzie, Philip Howe round out the fourth row, and Cade Donnelly, Gary Wellman rounding out your fifth row as we're about to go green. Once again, Dave, as you're in, I'll let you take them to green.
Oh, mate, the only reason I went with Aaron Dillon is because I actually did do this race last time they came here. It's a good track for these cars and a lot of draft, but we've got Troy Davidson coming to take the green, and the pace car will drop down below the apron there. And we wait on Troy. Troy's got control as he drops the hammer now, and he goes and got one way out the back there. Got a good real start. Got him. Not that's legal, but anyway, we're away, and Troy takes the lead. Dylan will slip in behind him here, and hopefully, try and defend on the inside from that second position there.
Yeah, it was a good start. There was a car in the background, as you mentioned, that took that high line off that restart. I believe it is legal. You can pass on the high line, just not on the inside line. That was Matt Payton, so he anticipated the start very well there. But Terry Marwood's now jumped up to the point, Dave. He's up 12 positions on his starting position. He's up 13. So Terry Marwood always shows a lot of pace in these cars around the ovals. It's no surprise to see him at the point of this one. Still early doors. It's only 24 laps into 134. He's just had a little bit of bad luck through season 1, so he'll be wanting to change that luck here for season 2. But a good way to start, 24 into 134. It is only one set of tyres over the fence tonight, Dave, if you didn't hear that on the stream. So they will have to double stint a set. They've got about the 79% fuel as well. So there will be a double stint, and a couple of drivers already come in and served a pit stop. Terry Marwood, Scott Rankin, Derek Jacobs, Troy Davidson rounding out your 4 are not ones that have taken the pit stop yet. The first of those that have is Darren McKenzie. So he's done a little bit of a fuel top up, and he's moved back up into the 5th position that you can see as we're on board with Cade Donnelly down there in 8th position. Cade Donnelly, one to look out for tonight as well. He finished 3rd, I believe, in season 2, and did have that that really good result with Stephen Williams at Indianapolis for the final round, where that finish was 0.001 of a second after 2.5 hours of racing. So don't be surprised if Cade Donnelly gets to the point of this one. But your secret person, not secret, but the one you're going for, Dave, I believe tonight you said, is Aaron Dillon.
Yeah, I want to stick with old Aaron, the madman. Only because I've seen him win here before, so that's generally the reason I'm winning. But we see Darren's making his way back up to P2 here now. Just to a 30.8 that last lap. He's on the back of Terry Marwood, who knows his way around the ovals. But a bit of pressure behind him. Right on, who's on the back of Darren? It's Scott Rankin. Scotty Rankin's up there having a good race too.
Yeah, Scotty Rankin has been having a good race. He had a good race on Friday night in the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen series that we brought to you here on the InterSim Esports Network. He was up there most of the night. Darren McKenzie, though, as you did mention, Dave, he's moved his way up. He's looking racy. Darren's never one that likes to sit back in the pack. He likes to get out in front and go. Historically, that hasn't been good for him because he can wear those tyres out a little bit too quick, but he seems to have got his head around that and really converting into some nice, solid race results. And he's coming off the back of a championship win on Saturday night and a Triple Crown win, so he'll be full of confidence coming into this one.
Yeah, he's in a purple patch. He's the inform man at the moment, but Terry's doing what he needs to do at the moment. He's just threw a little bit of a block, I think, on Scotty. He was looking down the inside in the turn 3 there, and sort of just hung down low and just didn't give him the option. Obviously, the draft is massive with these cars, so it's almost pack racing. It's almost like Daytona with these cars out here. So they'll remain on top of each other. It's just whether you can thread your way through the traffic to get to the point.
Yeah, exactly right. They will be dropping it down into 5th gear through the turns, though, ladies and gentlemen. They don't keep it in 6. They'll click it into 6 when they get the draft down the front or back straight, but they'll generally click down into 5th gear and really rev that supercar out as they make their way around the turns. But here we go, Darren McKenzie making his contact as he's trying to mow out there. We saw that coming. Terry Marwood, what a save by Marwood.
Great save.
And there's more contact. They're still going.
They're not
we might have to turn you up a little bit too, Dave. We've had a comment on the stream maybe to turn you up a little bit. Cool, that's already done. So all sorted. But tell you what, Terry Marwood did a good job to keep that car facing in the right direction and not causing a big pile up. But
well, he did have to block earlier in the race, and I think he just tried to block Darren McKenzie there, and Darren was having none of it and actually got on the apron there. So well done to both of those guys to actually keep it straight and not take out the whole field there. So yeah, well, good driving there.
It was. I bet you his eyes were the size of dinner plates when that was happening. So, but Scott Rankin is the beneficiary out of this one. He's pulled a nice little half a second gap over Aaron Dillon and Troy Davidson. Then in the second and third spot, Warwick Sharp sitting there, just stalking them in 4th at the moment. So it looks like the group is starting to split up a little bit. Scott Rankin with that little bit of a gap in front. That'll close up really quickly with this 3-car train behind them. But they've now got a 1.15 second gap over Cade Donnelly in this group here that you can see on screen. That's definitely on for young and old here as they're making their way nearly 3 wide there down the back straight of Chicagoland Speedway, Dave.
Yeah, well, I think that's Terry. He's in behind preseason behind Darren now. Where did Terry end up after that?
Terry Marwood after that one.
So he's back in 6th there. So he's leading that second pack by the looks of it.
Yeah.
So
So we'll keep an eye out for Darren McKenzie and Terry Marwood as this one goes on. See if there's a little bit of round 2. Yeah, exactly what I was going to say. But another little battle that we've seen in other leagues, and I mentioned it in the broadcast on Friday night. Your current series champion or defending champion, Justin Witcher and Darren McKenzie. There's definitely no love lost between those two drivers. Justin Witcher's in 20th at the moment and Darren McKenzie in 8th. But if these two drivers do make their way up to each other during this race, don't be surprised if there's a little bit of fireworks between those two drivers.
Oh, beautiful, mate. You know I love a bit of a rivalry out here, mate. Sometimes we're all too nice to each other, but a bit of hard racing never hurt anybody, especially out here, mate. At the end of the day, you can turn it off and reset, go again.
Exactly right, and the gap's closed on this front group, so you can see the back group, the second group, just ranging up on the back of the lead for the motor race at the moment.
Oh, geez, he looked to the outside there, right up in behind Scotty Rankin at the moment with Aaron Dillon posting toe behind.
Yeah, expect these Sim Boys cars to make a move for the lead of this race. The Sim Boys cars don't, or Sim Boys drivers don't really like just sitting in there behind us. There was a bit of a fake there by Scotty Rankin down into 3 and 4. So Troy Davidson thought second, or better of that rather, and Aaron Dillon on the outside.
Exactly
Warwick,
what Terry did.
yes, and it didn't end the same way. So,
not yet.
Excuse
so
me.
Battle rages on, but yeah.
But this is allowing that second group to range right up onto the back of them, and we're getting probably about a 15 to 20 car, well, it's actually a 14 car train now for the lead of the motor race. We'll see how this changes. The pit stop cycle will come pretty shortly, so just to give you an idea, the lead driver that's been through pit lane at the moment is Cade Donnelly, sitting there in the 5th position. He came through pit lane on lap 9. The next best is Shannon Wright back there in 12th. He came through on lap 19. So lap 9, that'll put him 28 laps into his fuel stint at the moment. So I'd expect him to be coming into pit lane in the next 12 to 14 laps, I'd suggest, and we'll start seeing some of these strategies play out. But it's hotting up at the front here. It's Sim Boys on the outside, Aaron Dillon and Troy Davidson, Scott Rankin and Warwick Sharp on that inside line as they're too wide once again as they go across the strike to take the 38th lap for round 1 of the RayWhite Rule Gayndah Australasian Supercar eSeries. But why don't we, while they're getting really racy at the front here, why don't we go on board with the 013 of Aaron Dillon, your man Dave, and watch him do a couple of laps around Chicagoland Speedway. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. A couple of laps around the Chicagoland Speedway. On board with the 013 Aaron Dillon. You saw Cade Donnelly make the pass on him, so now it is a Sim Boys 1, 2, 3 and 4. Troy Davidson, Cade Donnelly, Aaron Dillon and Gary Wellman rounding out those 4 positions. Warwick Sharp still sitting back there in 5th position. But how do you like those cameras, Dave? Couple of laps around Chicagoland Speedway on board in a V8 supercar.
Yeah, always good to get on board, mate. Nice, as I said, nice close racing there. You could see that Kane actually went around the outside of him there while we were on board with him. So Sim Boys working well here. They're just getting in line now and very commanding at the moment. 1, 2, 3 and 4. That's a good effort right at this point of the race.
It is. It's usually hard enough to get one car at the point, let alone all 4. So you can see Cade Donnelly sporting a little bit of damage there from that earlier incident, but it doesn't seem to be affecting him here as he has got up into that 2nd position. Warwick Sharp still sitting there in 5th. Warwick Sharp, a new name to the Australasian Supercar eSeries. I believe this is probably his first night out. I don't remember seeing him in Season 1, so there's worse ways to start your championship for the first time in the Australasian Supercar eSeries, and he's currently in 5th position, but a long way to go. We're only 43 into 134. Of course, everybody, if you are tuning in to us on the Indosim Esports Network across all our social platforms, whether it be Facebook or YouTube, be sure to share that stream, invite your friends, let them all know about it, because this is racing you do not want to miss. The RayWhite Rule Gayndah Australasian Supercar eSeries. Of course, comment on the stream. Keep us company. We do have Dave in the box tonight, just helping us out in case my internet does play up. We do thank you for that, Dave. But be sure to throw those Indosim Esports Network trivia questions to Dave, because I know he loves a good good trivia. So throw the real hard ones to Dave and give him a baptism of fire. But Steve Hoppert already gave us one earlier, Dave. You might have to come up with one during one of the cautions tonight.
Oh, yeah, mate. I'll see what we can come up with, mate. I'm sure I've got something in the bag that we can bring up. I don't know what, but I'll have a think about it.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're lucky we don't have JCW, Joshua Carroll Walden, in here tonight, because he's the master of NASCAR trivia or oval trivia. He would have gone 3 from 3. He got the last 2 wrong, but I'll tell you what, he was not close to getting him, not far from getting him right, rather. So Joshua Carroll Walden knows a lot about his oval racing, but he's not here tonight for round 1 of the Australasian Supercar eSeries. So we'll have to pick on someone else for our trivia, but it's on at the front. Troy Davidson, Cade Donnelly, Aaron Dillon, Gary Wellman, but we're currently looking at the Pinnacle Esports racing team. Have a look at their new liveries, ladies and gentlemen. We're used to seeing them in the white and blue outfit, and they're now running that Sim Racing Edge livery, which is black, white, and a little bit of gold. So very striking livery there, and there's 4 of those guys working together trying to make their way around Derek Jacobs in the 04. Derek Jacobs might be running a little bit of a different livery tonight there too on the outside, but we've just gone, no, there's Derek Jacobs there. So sorry, my live timing was playing tricks on me. It looks like that was a lap car. That's why I got that one wrong. But how good do those liveries look, Dave, in those gold, white and black as opposed to the blue and white?
Oh, mate, they look good. I was just about to say that I'll feel at home looking at them because I'm not too shabby with the old white, gold and black, mate. It's a good colour scheme. I'll give it a 10 out of 10, mate.
Yeah, mate, the old Riley Curtis Designs putting that one together for you, and that's a good one. I'm used to seeing that one in front of me most times on a week, run it out in front of me, so wouldn't mind seeing it behind me at some stage, but we'll worry about that later. But I tell you what, the Sim boys are doing a great job at the front now. They're just gapping a little bit. You can see that from a visual aspect, but not really timing-wise. Warwick Sharp, Scotty Rankin and Dwayne Priest still holding on to them just in the background there. And then they've got a further nearly second back to Matt Payton in the 587. He's another Pinnacle Esports entry. So it's slowly gapping, this front little group is slowly gapping that second group at the moment.
Yeah, it looks like Cade's actually was too wide there with Troy down the front straight there. He's dropped in behind there now, so I wonder if they're going to swap around the leader or something. I don't know whether they're going to try and save some fuel there, but they're 3 wide out behind them there, though.
Yeah, Preece making it 3 wide in the background there. He's sort of come from nowhere and just ranging up and getting in the draft there of Aaron Dillon on the outside line. So Preece's coming into this one as well. He's a man that has a lot of bad luck. He races hard, Dwayne Preece. Doesn't always convert the results to where that 777 possibly has the pace to be. But in this one, 50 into 134, he is fighting for the point of this one. So we'll see whether Dwayne Priest can do something good tonight and finish this one off with a solid run. But we're about to go into green flag pit stops here, ladies and gentlemen, very shortly. A lot of these drivers would have done about 35 laps on their current fuel stint. So very shortly they'll be coming in and making that pit stop, the all-important pit stop. There will be 2 tonight, ladies and gentlemen. They only have 1 set of tyres behind the wall, so they'll have to double stint one. It's their choice. Will they do the first one? Will they do the second one? But of course, cautions will play a massive part in those decisions as well. But Troy Davidson just slightly gapping at the front at the moment, so he might have saved a little bit, and he's making a little bit of a gap on Aaron Dillon, Cade Donnelly and Gary Wellman at the moment. It looks like Preece's just fallen into that 5th position at the moment ahead of Warwick Sharp. Scotty Rankin's back in 7th. Sam Katakouzanos, Matt Payton, Blake Tilbrook, another new name here to the Australasian Supercar eSeries, rounding out your 10.
Yeah, actually get a good green flag run here. It's surprising because these cars are very on top of each other, so it's a nice, good clean racing going out there. But one you can't ever rule out is old Sammy K, and he's moved his way up in the 8th. He's been down pit lane twice, I think. And yeah, he's starting to wake his way back up. So expect him to probably lead this thing at some point with more fuel and get further into the race to be able to make his stop.
Yeah, he'll. You can see the pit stop strategies there on the screen, ladies and gentlemen, when they pitted, and what their pit stop strategy and stint length would be. So Sam Katakouzanos, you can see where he's come in the second time there. He will lead this at some stage under green if he keeps going the way he's going. for people tuning in and they don't know, we haven't really spoken about this on the InterSim Esports Network during Season 1. There are bonus points that are given to these drivers at the end of each round. That's why when we bring up the results at the end of each round, they are provisional results because those points do change. So if you get the fastest lap of... Oh, here's the green flag pit stops. We will bring that back to you here on the InterSim Esports Network because this is the exciting part of the race, Dave. Those green flag pit stops, the first of the night, have just started to get underway.
Yeah, but you can see Troy, Aaron Dillon's in there. Jared Jacobs has jumped in, but you've also got to watch your speed coming down off the high banks there and get it slowed down without trying to spin because you come off the bank onto a flat surface and you just lose that bit of downforce and grip.
You do, and then you've got to worry about getting into your pit stall as well. It's all not over once you get past that yellow control line into pit lane. It's quite easy to overdo it and get past your pit stall and overrun it and have to reverse, especially when you're on older tyres as well. I find I do that more often than not. So getting through the pit stop is definitely an important part of the race, and it can be very tricky. But we go back to Cade Donnelly's taken the lead of the race. You can see there he's got Precy and Wellman in behind him. They're still yet to stop. Sam Katakuznos that we mentioned, Sammy K, he's now ranging up into fourth spot at the moment, going around the outside of Scotty Rankin. So he will take the lead of this motor race. Looks like he might take the lead before the drivers in front of him come in and take their green flag pit stop. They'll be coming in any lap now because Stephen Williams also has made his pit stop too there, Dave, as well. He's back in 21st. He's just come through pit lane as well. Shannon Wright's currently in pit lane as we speak. So these three drivers at the front, we can expect them to make their pit stop any lap now.
Yeah, it won't be too long before we see those guys there. We've got Perry Marley showing he's 2 laps down, so I don't know whether it's just pit laps, the pit lane cycle or not, or he's had an issue at some point there, but he just seems to be a bit further back than a few of the other guys.
Yeah, that's very well spotted there, Dave. I'm having a look. His pit transit time was 33.55, which wasn't abnormal to everyone else's pit transit time. And yeah, so not sure why he's dropped 2 laps down there. We'll see whether that recorrects itself, if that is even a terminology. We'll see whether that corrects itself when these guys make their way through pit lane. But Terry Marwood, your early leader, as you said, 2 laps down. It looks like Warwick Sharp, Troy Davidson, and Aaron Dillon, that's 1 lap down, the last ones. So it looks like that Terry Marwood is actually 2 laps down, which will end up being 1 lap down once the green flag pit stop cycles do go through. So we'll just keep one eye on that one, Dave.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the gap. Looks like he's about 2 seconds, nearly 3 seconds behind Aaron. So it could be just where the leader is versus where he came back out on track. So it might be all good. So we'll keep an eye on that. But Scotty Rankin's now taking his service and he's on his way out of the pit lane. And same with Ashley Nezzer. He's in there as well.
Yeah, and Ashley Nezzer is not one that I've seen here for the RayWhite Rural Australasian Supercar eSeries either. So he's another one to look out for. It looks like, just having a look back now, who have we got in pit lane? There's Ash Nezzer there. He's coming through pit lane. We'll see when this front group decide to come into pit lane. That's going to be any time now. But, well, people, there's Michael Shaw as well making his way out of pit lane. He's made his first service here for round 1 of the Australasian Supercar eSeries. But it is Gary Wellman now. Stretched his legs a little bit at the front over Priest, Dane Priest. He's got 3/4 of a second over Dwayne. He's got a lap car here, or it will be a lap car, but once he goes into pit lane, obviously that'll even itself out. He'll want to get up in that draft a little bit to try and extend that gap over Dwayne Priest. Cade Donnelly's dropped back to 3rd. Sam Katakuznos has just made that move, actually, on Cade Donnelly, and he's taken that 3rd position. So Sam Katakuznos up the inside of the 41 of Cade Donnelly and takes the 3rd position of the race, 62 into 134. But while it's settled down a little bit, I'll take the chance to go back to what I was saying about those bonus points. So the drivers do get, if they get the quickest lap of the race, they'll get 1 extra bonus point. If they lead the most laps of the race, they'll get an extra bonus point. If they, as it looks like Sean Hart there is coming into pit lane and Cade Donnelly has made his way, he's blinked out of 2nd or 3rd place in this motor race and he's going to make his pit stop. But Gary Wellman's still going around out the front with Dwayne Priest at the moment. So they last came through pit lane on lap 9. They've got to be running short of fuel, 63 and 134. Admittedly, they do they did have a few cautions, so that's going to help them extend the length of this run. So we'll see when Gary Wellman wants to make his way into pit lane, but Greg Spencer there in the 29 Pinnacle Esports entry. Greg Spencer in the 5th position. Raymond Yeager's just in front of him. They've moved up into 4th now, and Nigel Payton is just in behind of them. Justin Witcher there as well. So it's Pinnacle Esports all working together there. 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. Justin Witcher, Raymond Yeager, Greg Spencer and Nigel Payton. I'll probably get that wrong across the 11 rounds, Dave, because it is a different livery, as I said. They've got Southern Stars Racing outfit in behind them as well. Looks like that's not Andy Barber. I'm not sure who that is, but they must be a lap down. That's Derek Jacobs from the United States of America in the 99. Look who's just in the background there. Stevie Dubb, the DPR racing entry is Stevie Dubb. Got the simrigs.com all over it. He is actually a lap down. So your Indy 500 winner is, or Indy 400 winner is a lap down currently. So all heating up here with 65 into 134 for what was a slow start for round 1 of the Australasian Supercar eSeries. It's definitely going quick now. 65 into 134. Greg Spencer's now made his way into pit lane. So is Justin Witcher. So your defending series champion has decided to come into pit lane as well and do his service, Dave. But I feel like I'm just talking, not letting you in here, mate. So I'll let you jump in as now some of these front guys are starting to blink and make their pit stops.
Yeah, that's all good, mate. So fine. So yeah, we got Sam's taking the lead right now. So Gary's just dropped down below onto the apron there, so he's going to be coming in for his stop. And now, as we predicted, Sam Katakuzunas is now at the point of this race. And he's got Raymond Yeager behind him and Nigel Patton, those guys that we're talking about, Pinnacle Motorsports or Esports they are. Looks like they took the later option to take those stops earlier in the race. So they'll go a fair distance into this race without a stop. I'm not exactly sure what laps, but you can see your teammate, actually, Brett Campbell, has just moved up into 5th place. So he's having a good little run here as well.
Yeah, Brett Campbell is having a good run. The Aussie Esports entry, he's up into 5th place. Brett's new to the Aussie Esports team in a development type position, if you want to say, if they are positions, but development type. He's quite new
Sam's
to...
just gone into the pit, sorry, just to cut over there. So Sam's
no, you're right.
Sam Katakuzunas has dropped into the pit lane, so that's a surprising one. I thought he'd go a bit further in, so I wonder how far Yeager and those guys from Pinnacle can go, whether they were able to save a bit more fuel there and go a few more laps longer, but continue your point, sorry, mate.
No, you're fine. Brett Campbell, he's joined in like a development type role, so Brett Campbell quite new to the iRacing service, and we thought we'd just give him the offer there. Not that we're superstars at all, but we thought we might have had something that we could assist to him to just try and help him out and enjoy his iRacing experience. So good to have him in the Aussie Esports outfit, and in saying that, he's just come into pit lane out of the 4th position, as has Nigel Payton. So, but back on what you meant with Sam Katakuzunas, Sammy K, we know Sam is a very smart strategic player when it comes to racing. Well, not player, strategic driver when it comes to racing. So he must know something that we don't. He wouldn't have come into pit lane if he didn't think there was something here with his tyre strategy and fuel drop. So just keep one eye on Sam Katakuzunas. He might be banking on this going green and playing out for him, but we'll see how that plays out. But Raymond Yeager now, he's taken the lead of this race over Christopher Finlay. Christopher Finlay actually has just come into pit lane as well.
Yeager's the only one that's out there that hasn't pitted yet, so he's still going. So he won't be far from coming in. So at this point in time, it looks like Warwick Sharp is the effective race leader as Yeager comes in now as predicted. So Warwick Sharp's going to end up in the pit stop cycle here. He's going to end up in 1st with Aaron Dillon not too far behind him and Cade Donnelly in 3rd.
Yeah, he's played his cards right here, because you can see the Sim Boys racing entries of Aaron Dillon and Cade Donnelly just off in the background there. He's got a nice little gap, and he's just put a car in between them now as well. So the more that these guys run too wide, which we know that the Sim Boys racing cars or racing guys, they don't have any team orders. They just enjoy coming out and racing door to door. So they're not going to be there trying to work together too much to try and drag this in. They're going to be going, I want to come second, I want to come first. They don't really care. So it'll be interesting to see how Warwick Sharp plays this one out. He comes up on the back of Joe Torcasio there. He'll be wanting to make the move around him quicker, sooner rather than later, and get as many cars in between himself and Cade Donnelly and Aaron Dillon. But Warwick Sharp, he's a new one to the Australasian Supercar eSeries, as I said, Dave, and he's now put him to the point of this one. He's had a really clean, uneventful race, which is usually pretty good when you have an uneventful race, and we usually say when you're not mentioned on the broadcast, which he's been mentioned a lot tonight, you're usually having a good run. So hopefully we haven't put the curse on him. We'll let someone else in the stream do that. But Sean Hart's now moved up to third as well. You can see Philip Howe. I believe that's Philip Howe. Yep, down there. He's a lap down, so he's on the inside just trying to get out of the way of everyone at the moment. But, well, we've got a chance. So I'm going to go through these amazing sponsors which bring the Australasian Supercar eSeries to life. Of course, the naming rights sponsor is RayWhite Rural Gayndah. If you're up there in the Sunshine Coast region in Queensland, Gayndah in Queensland, and if you're in the market for property, whether it be buying, renting, selling, whether it be land, whether it be an investment, anything to do with the real estate world, get on board and follow RayWhite Rural Gayndah. You can find them on RayWhite Rural Gayndah on Facebook. Of course, they're available on the World Wide Web. Through your Google search RayWhite Rural Gayndah, you'll come straight up to them, or they will have their location through the RayWhite Australia website where you can find your local locations. So get on board with RayWhite Rural Gayndah. Support the people that support the iRacing community. Of course, Witcher Electrics as well. Justin Witcher runs Witcher Electrics. He's based in Victoria, in the southwestern part of Victoria, I believe. Obviously, that is an electrical company, so for all your domestic and commercial electrical needs, whether it be installing a PowerPoint at home, or you've got a large commercial type of construction going on, anything electrical, get a part of Witcher Electrics. You can find them on Facebook, and of course you'll find them on the World Wide Web as well. The Sim Racing Edge, they are a new one to the Australasian Supercar eSeries. They make it all, this leaderboard, come to life to you. As you can see, the 25-car leaderboard in front of you, the Sim Racing Edge. They have sponsored this series as well, so get on to the Sim Racing Edge. They do some liveries. They've done the Pinnacle Esports liveries you can see on screen at the moment, so they do a sensational job with that. So the Sim Racer Edge, if you're into liveries and all that type of stuff, we'll do a bit more research. They do setups as well. Sorry, they do iRacing setups. I believe they're bringing you all the setups that these drivers are running here for the Australasian Supercar eSeries. So they do all your iRacing setups as well as liveries. Jump on board and support the people that support the Australasian Supercar eSeries and the iRacing community. But I tell you what, that gap has closed at the front now. Dave, Kate Donnelly, Sean Hart and Aaron Dillon and Troy Davidson chasing Warwick Sharp down. They've brought that gap down to 0.5 of a second as Kate Donnelly just makes the move on a back marker there. But he's got Sean Hart all over the back of him at the moment.
Yeah, I expect them boys to slowly reel in a leader there, but what makes it tricky for us is just because of the split strategies, there's so much difference here, and then you've got your tyre as well. We don't actually know what tyre they're on, being only able to take one set of tyres throughout this whole race. So maybe Warwick took the tyres earlier, that's why he's got to the lead, because he's up 19 positions, but it's hard to sort of to work that out until we get to the end and see what happens in the wash, or come out in the wash, I guess.
Yeah, there's a lot to play out here. 77 into 134. Still one more stop to go. Who's taken their tyres early? Who hasn't? Warwick Sharp might be one of those, which is why he got that big undercut through the pit cycle. But that's slowly coming back to him now with those drivers in behind. We don't know whether they've taken them either. But looking at the pit lane transit, I can pretty much answer that. And with all the drivers inside that top 20 on the lead lap, with Matt Payton being an exception to that one, they've pretty much taken tyres, because their pit lane transit time was in the 33 to 34 second mark. The only one I can see that was quicker than the rest of the field was Shannon Wright back there in 14th at the moment. His was a 27.18, so he might have been the only driver to make that fuel-only stop, with his transit lane being about that 7 seconds quicker than the rest of the cars in front of him. So I don't know whether that is how that's going to play out, Dave, but that's exactly what it's telling me on the live timing right in front of me.
Yeah, that's it. That's all you can work off. That's the only one that sort of stands out on that board. Everyone else is sort of within a second, give or take. So yeah, Shannon Wright looks like he may have possibly taken his tyres. Just taking fuel only. Everyone else taking tyres. So be interesting to keep an eye on Shannon to see what happens in his last stop. See if he starts making his way back through the field. And does take tyres, so we'll have to keep an eye on that one.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on Shannon. What he'll have to do through this run if he did not take those tyres is make this run as short as possible and come in and fill the car to the end. So he might not run this one out a full length because they did have those early cautions as Brett Campbell nearly rotates the back into turn 1 and 2 there in the 015 Aussie eSports car. It looked like he got really loose in the back there on the entry. He's up on the inside of Andy Barber at the moment. But yeah, he'll want to run this stint as short as possible to be able to make it to the end to get on those green tyres, I'd suspect. So if he runs it longer, of course, it's going to mean well, it's not going to mean he's going to be stationary because he's still going to have to take tyres. So, yeah, we'll definitely keep one eye on Shannon Wright. The only other driver, no, there's no one else. Everyone's the same, so it's on. But Cade Donnelly, Warwick Sharp and Sean Hart, they're getting elbows out at the front. Cade Donnelly made the move on Warwick there, and Warwick just poked his nose up into 1 and 2, but this is allowing Sean Hart to get the run on the outside around Warwick, and he's going to be in the slipstream of Cade Donnelly down the back straight as we're 82 into 134.
So looking back in the back here, it looks like Terry Howard definitely had an issue because he's still showing 2 laps down. So unfortunate for him, was in the lead at some point at the start of the race, and yeah, had a bit of contact with Darren McKenzie, but McKenzie has recovered, albeit only to 17th at this point in time.
Yeah, it could have been several things, but looking at his pit times as well, I don't see anywhere. We might have missed one under caution or somewhere along the line. So yeah, definitely not a good way. He's had a solid run in the last couple of rounds of season 1, so he's showing a lot of pace. He's just got to get that rub of the green and get a bit of luck, and no doubt we'll see Terry Marwood up and talking to us in the commentary booth sooner rather than later at the end of one of these races. But Cade Donnelly, he's a familiar face at the front of the Australasian Supercar eSeries. Nothing different tonight. He had a little bit of a run in there with Darren McKenzie earlier, but he's put the 41 at the point of this one. Still Sean Hart and Warwick Sharp there in second place. Your man Aaron Dillon ranging up on the back now, Dave, up into the 4th position. He's got his teammate Gary Wellman half a second down the road behind him. You can see Gary Wellman there in the green. Sam Katakouzanos, though, he's made his way up into the 6th spot, so he dropped down a little bit when he decided to pit. A little bit of the same strategy as the guys in front of him, with Warwick Sharp and Aaron Dillon not being part of that as well. They pitted on lap 55, Gary Wellman and Sam Katakouzanos behind them on lap 67 and 66 and 67 respectively. So still some of those strategy calls playing out differently here. Stephen Williams trying to get a lap back there, or he's on the lead lap rather. He's now the last car on the lead lap. He's made the move on Sam Katakouzanos, so Stephen Williams back on the lead lap of this one. So he's not out of it if there's a late caution. We're 86 into 134. They've made their way now past Michael Shaw. So Michael Shaw is currently he's 7 laps down, so he's had an incident as well. So Michael Shaw from Shawry Racing in that Activity Hub Bali livery, he has had an unfortunate start to this one, 7 laps down as he just lets Troy Davidson, I believe, 23 laps down, is it? Okay, my live timing's got to catch up. It's saying 7 laps down. So Paul's just said 23 laps down in my ear, but it looks like he could be with the pace in that 07 car at the moment. Very slow as Philip Howe nearly gets into his door through turns 1 and 2.
Just checking, Troy Davison, the biggest, like, you can't say loser, but the biggest one to take a hit in that pit cycle, because he was leading. He's probably led most of the laps here too, I'd have to imagine, so far. And he got back to 7, so he's actually behind Sam Katakouzanos after those pit stops, which doesn't seem right, because you would think Troy, because he stopped a bit earlier, would have got a bit of an undercut. But yeah, so he's just dropped off a bit. So whether he had a bit of trouble with lap car or something possibly, we're not sure. But yeah, keep an eye on Troy just to see how he tracks for the rest of this race here.
Yeah, I think he got caught a little bit there. Some of the drivers, there's 2 or 3 or 4 drivers that were with him in the lead of this race, or fighting for the lead of the race, that transition pit lane through. Well, I know Sean Hart did in 32.28, Cade Donnelly 33.98, Warwick Sharp 33.72. Troy Davidson was in the 34s, a 34.48, so that might have just put him in a little bit of a...
Sam Katakouzanos has just pit.
And Sam Katakouzanos in the pits as well. So this is the strategy call by Sam K. Dave. He came in and followed the leaders. Yeah.
And you called it earlier. You said you want to get back in here, and mate, as soon as you got enough fuel to get to the end, get off these old tyres, get on them new tyres. So this is a big gameplay here for Sam.
It is, and track position is going to be key in this one. He doesn't want to get caught up with lap traffic as much as some can help you, as Darren McKenzie just comes into pit lane as well. So Darren McKenzie's thinking the same thing as Sam Katakouzenos, both in on the same lap. Greg Spencer now in pit lane as well. But we're on board with Cade Donnelly and Sean Hart. Sean Hart having a great run tonight. We're already 90 into 134. One more pit stop to get through, ladies and gentlemen. I did see, actually, I'm looking at the comments on the stream. Steve Hoppett's just commented. He says all this green flag racing is getting in the way of trivia night. So I think we might have to bring in trivia night quickly. We'll keep calling the race, but let's do a bit of trivia quickly for you, Dave. Nice simple one to get you started off. We'll ease you in nicely as Cade Donnelly, Sean Hart, and Gary Wellman lead this one. What is the seating capacity at Chicagoland Speedway? We'll ask that to the viewers as well, but you being our special guest tonight, Dave, what is your guess on the seating capacity at Chicagoland Speedway, which is actually, I've got to let the viewers know, your favourite racetrack?
It's one of. Yeah, it's up there. It's definitely up there with Miami, Homestead, but look at that crowd in there, big crowd in here tonight. I'm going to say that's at least 60 to 70,000 there.
Oh, mate, you're close. You're close. I'm not going to reveal the answer yet. You're definitely close. You're a lot closer than Justin Witcher that guessed on the other night at Kansas Motor Speedway on our Friday night call. He guessed 5,000, so he was just a little bit off. A little bit off.
Local Speedway numbers, mate.
Mate, that's Archfield Speedway on a Saturday night for the sprint cars. But probably even the Rocky Speedway at the old showgrounds, mate. But
someone had a big tank slapper off Howe, possibly had a big tank slapper off turn 4 there.
Yeah, Philip Howe, big tank slapper there. But they've really compressed up the front now. Warwick Sharp's dropped back to 4th. Aaron Dillon just sitting 1.4 seconds off the lead. We'll just keep on board with Philip Howe now as he's just trying to be navigated around by some other quicker cars. But Derek Jacobs' car looks very second-hand in the background there, that Southern Stars Racing outfit. I tell you what, he's a hard luck story, Derek Jacobs. He's the 99 entry from Southern Stars Racing. He's running in an Australian race team throughout all these series that we broadcast, but he is an American, and over there it is very, very early in the morning, and he's had a couple of bad runs. He's been out very early in the race, but it's good to see him tonight after having a little bit of an incident as he nearly makes contact with Howe there down the back straight. He's now up into the 8th position, up 27 spots. So good to see Derek Jacobs having a nice solid run here tonight in the Australasian Supercar eSeries, Dave.
Yeah, he's going well. It's always good to have a mix too, get the guys from in the States over here, and I always like to keep an eye out and see if there's any leagues going on where we can jump in over there as well. But it's always good to have those guys, a bit of a mix. We love the New Zealanders here and the sort of Australia, New Zealand sort of brand area, but always good having the American guys come and have a run with us.
It is, and it just spices up that rivalry even more. We do have the big Trans-Tasman rivalry, Australia and New Zealand, whether it's with the drivers within the teams or whatever. There are a lot of different nationalities. Derek Jacobs, of course, as I mentioned, from the United States or America. There are lots of leagues that run across the iRacing service, but usually it's at a time that we're either at work or have something else on. So very hard to get involved in their leagues. But I tell you what, Derek Jacobs very committed, because it would be very early on a Sunday morning over there. Like, sun wouldn't even be up early over in the United States where he is. So good to see him out here, not only out here tonight, supporting every round, but we're under caution 97 of 134, and we're under caution. We'll go back to this. We'll go back.
Stephen Williams. Sorry, mate.
No, we'll go back to the simracermerch.com replay and show you exactly what happened and brought out the next caution of the night here on the InterSim Esports Network.
This will be an interesting one.
So Philip Howe on the inside there, Dave.
We got no, Howe's come up on Patton by the looks of it, and he's going to hit the wall hard.
Yeah, it looks like he just lost a little bit of bearings of where he was on the track there, as opposed to Nigel Payton, and just sent the Pinnacle Esports car up into the outside wall down the main stretch at Chicagoland Speedway. So Philip Howe involved in an incident, and Nigel Payton, the unlucky bystander there, as we're caution once again here tonight on the InterSim Esports Network. But I tell you what, that means we go back to the most important part of the night, the InterSim Esports Network trivia. And we've had a couple of answers on the stream, Dave. So you guessed 80,000 or 70,000? 60,000?
70, something like that. I'll go 70.
60, 70. All right, you've gone 70. Steve Hoppett, with good old Steve Hoppett fashion, I'm surprised he doesn't have more decimal points in his answer. But 75,621 to be precise, as we see the leaders come into pit lane. Cade Donnelly, Sean Hart making their way into pit lane. Everyone making their way into pit lane there out of the lead of this motor race to get to the green on the end. Margaret, 60,000. I'm going to tell you the answer. It's 47,000 for Chicagoland Speedway. So, yeah, a lot less than I thought. It's tricking us here on the broadcast on the InterSim Esports Network. It looks like there's 47,000 just on the front stretch. So, don't know if iRacing's trying to throw us a curveball here on our InterSim Esports Network trivia, the place where you can get all your useless trivia here on a Friday, Sunday and Tuesday night. But
I reckon we've jammed at least 70 in here, mate, for the V8s tonight, mate. I can see 70,000 out there. So, but getting back to the race here, the man that's going to hurt the most is Sam Katakuzunas. As you know, he stopped early.
Yeah, it will. It will not help Sam Katakuzunas. He came in on lap 88, so he's now. We'll just wait for this live timing to catch up as they make their way all across the line, so we're not telling you the wrong thing. There you go. It's caught up for me. Sam Katakuzunas now back in the 15th position. So coming to the green next time around, once this all irons itself out, it will be Gary Wellman bringing us to the green. Raymond Yeager back at the point of this one as well. Sean Hart, Cade Donnelly and Justin Witchy are 5. Joe Casio's just come into pit lane. He was in 6th place relative there to the field, but he's dropped out of that. He's now going into pit lane to serve his service as well. So all cars there in the top 14, as opposed to Sam Katakuzunas sitting there in 15th spot at the moment. All came through under caution, and Sam Katakuzunas didn't. He's last through on lap 88.
He was stuck a lap down, so he had to get the wave around, I'd say. So he's got that now. He should end up on the back of the pack here, but the problem is if he's behind all those guys and they had tyres left over, unfortunately that's almost going to be his race done. He won't be able to make too much inroads from there, I'd say.
Yeah, I don't think he will. If he did take the tyres there, but he would have had to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, he's been in pit lane. Well, actually, no, I'm looking back at that. Lap 88, when he came through, his pit lane transit time was 16 seconds. So
yeah, the tyres are quick here. Fuel's always the long part of these V8 supercar stops. So they'll be running, I think you said 75 litres, 75%, something like that, which will end up being about 75, 80 litres, which will take about that 35-second mark. But tyres are pretty quick. Tyres are done in about 12 seconds on a supercar.
Yeah. Well, there you go, Dave Douglas with the down low on the InterSim Esports Network. I have to get you back for round 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You can be our Mark. You can be our Mark Larkham of the InterSim Esports Network. I've now knighted you Mark Larkham because you're absolutely terrible at InterSim Esports Network trivia. But Mark Larkham it is. That's a bit rough, though, isn't it? Throwing you under the bus there.
Oh, mate, it's not too bad. I'll take Larko, mate. Larko's a legend, mate. So that's a compliment of itself. But it helps when you did a 1,000 only 2 weeks ago. So you sort of remember that stuff.
And saying the 1,000, I'll give you a little bit of props here. You did do the 1,000 with Mr. Luke Trahair from Nightcall Racing and come home with a solid P10 and P9, mate. Yeah,
P9, which is... It's a good effort because it was a quality field. The strength of field was a 4,500 strength of field. So, I think that was the highest or something. I don't know, but it was a high strength of field anyway. And I was surprised that we managed to end up P9. So that's a good effort.
Yeah, good effort. I haven't had the pleasure of doing a Bathurst 1,000 yet, so I've called a couple, but I haven't had the pleasure of doing one myself. So I look forward to doing that at some stage, but there's usually 3, 4 or 20 of them a year on the iRacing service. So I'll definitely be able to get a part of one of them. But it will be Gary Wellman bringing us to the restart here on the InterSim Esports Network for the RayWhite Rural RayWhite Rural Gayndah Australasian SUPERCAR eSeries. It's 101 of 134, and we're green once again. Gary Wellman with a great jump on the inside line. Raymond Jaeger just holding up that outside line a little bit. He's got Sean Hart and Cade Donnelly behind him, so expect Cade Donnelly to make a move up to the front. Have a look at who's ranging up in 6th position. We haven't spoken about him all night, Dave. Another Simboys Racing entry, Christopher Finlay. He's made his way up into the top 6 when it counts. He hasn't been in our thoughts, or we haven't been speaking about him all night, but we're 102 into 134.
Jeez.
Sean Hart gets a big tank slapper out of 3 and 4 there.
Yeah, Raymond Jaeger actually picked up the apron coming out of 4 there too, so he sort of got a bit sideways off 4 there. But yeah, Finley's he's seen all his teammates. Always Dylan gets a bit sideways, crossed up there, saves it and keeps going. But Finlay's seen all his teammates up there having a run. As we're going to try and go 4 wide down the back straight here. It's very tight. As we've got Troy Davison making his way back after having a bit of a shocker there, so he's back in this fight too now.
And I tell you what, Derek Jacobs isn't afraid to get amongst it in behind there. He was the one trying to take it 4 wide down the back stretch. He thought better of it, and lucky he did, because it really closed up as quick as it opened up, as he gets really loose into 1 and 2 there, and nearly says hello to Mr. Cameraman there. So great images there on the InterSim Esports Network. But Derek Jacobs looking very racy with 3 wide into 3 and 4 this time round, as they are moving around very quickly. Brett Campbell up to 13th position, Aussie Esports. Good run for him. He's sitting back there just waiting for everything to play out in front of him at the moment. But yes, Jaeger to the point. He's got the defending champion, Justin Witcher, behind him. So it's Pinnacle Esports Racing versus Simboys Racing at the front of this one.
Yeah, this is 2x2 racing at Chicagoland. You don't see that often. So these guys are going to have to start going 3 wide to make moves here. It's very orderly fashion here by 2x2.
And you've probably just put the commentator's curse on, because I'll guarantee you we're going to see 3 wide sooner rather than later. We're 106. They're 106 this time across the strike, 106 of 134. So there is 28 laps to go. There you go. There's my quick maths. And not only am I the guru of all your useless trivia, I'm a mathematician as well. So 106 of 134, Pinnacle Esports v Simboys at the moment. It's a 4-car Simboy train on the outside, 4 versus 2 at the moment. Look who's sitting there on the inside, Mr. Troy Davidson. So all 5 of the Simboys racing cars are ganging up on the Pinnacle Esports entries at the moment. But I've got a feeling this is not going to end like this.
No, I can't imagine, but the one is on the door of Justin Witcher's car for a reason, so he's been able to be in this position before. As you see him giving a bump draft now down the back straight to his teammate Raymond Jaeger, who is just able to just push through the turn there as Witcher gets a little bit tight and goes up the track a bit there.
Yeah, he did get tight, sacrifice a little bit there to help his teammate, because the Simboys are getting a good run around the outside. They might sacrifice a little bit through the rotation of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 being on that high side, but they allow them to keep that mid-range revs up a lot more to give them that big drive down the outside of each of the straights. As you can see that happening right now, and looks like that Cade Donnelly almost got to the point where he got past Raymond Jaeger there on the entry of 3 and 4, but not quite. Justin Witcher getting very tight there in the background, pushing up through 3 and 4, and that's allowed Troy Davidson back into it as well. But here's Christopher Finlay on the outside of Troy Davidson, but 2 wide action. Brett Campbell's now up into the 9th position from Aussie Esports. Sorry to keep jumping onto him. I just want to keep one eye on him being the teammate. This is one of the best runs he's had so far, so he'll be happy with that, and to give him a little bit of airtime here on the broadcast. But Justin Witcher, we'll see how he goes through 3 and 4 this time round. He's just moved that car up a little bit off the apron there to see whether he can get it to rotate. It looked like it worked a little bit better there, but not quite. As you can see, Derek Jacobs nearly getting into the right-hand rear quarter of him.
Contact there. Has to be contact there. But
there was a nice little 0x there for sure.
But yeah, the Simboys are doing well. So what I want to know is, when do the Simboys start racing each other? Because they can't all just sit in the line here for a bit. Someone's going to have to want to try and win this. And I'm telling you, it's going to be the 0-1-3, as Jacobs is having a big old swerve. He's having a look left, right, centre, up, down, back, forwards, wherever he can go at the moment to try and make some moves here.
Yeah, he is, and there was a big shut-the-door moment there by Justin Witcher on Troy Davidson. He could see the run coming, and he said, no, thank you, Troy. I'm going to put my car right where you want to be, mate, and you can't go through there. As Derek Jacobs tries to make it 3 wide again in the background. doesn't quite do that through turns 1 and 2. Sorry, 1 and 2 as they make their way down what is not a straight back stretch here at Chicagoland Speedway either. It does slightly curve around to the left, so not the easiest sometimes when you're in traffic. But,
yeah, definitely. If you're on the high side, it's very common to actually touch that wall because you're not ready for it to sort of curve so much. So it does make it a little bit more difficult, but mate, there can be a winner in the top 10, in the top 15 here. The winner can come from anywhere here.
Yeah, it can come from anywhere. Scotty Rankin, who was up the front earlier in this one, he's the man sitting in the 15th position at the moment, and we would give you a gap, but you can visually see it here on the screen, ladies and gentlemen. There is none. This is the lead battle for the lead. Top 15 cars is a blue car. Blue car up into the wall there. It looked like Darren McKenzie, but Darren McKenzie, I can see him a lap down. So I think that might have been Darren McKenzie there getting very loose and up into the wall through 3 and 4. That's not going to help his chances.
There it is, caution. There was someone really sideways in turn 3. That was not that car, but that is Darren McKenzie, as you said. So whether he's carried that down the straight, but he's definitely had a big one there. He's missing half the car.
Yeah, he is. Not good for him. And I think Brett Campbell was involved in that as well, as much as live timing wasn't
Brett's been in the
brought
pit
out.
for a while, so I'm not sure why Brett took off into the pits for a couple of laps.
Yeah, well, let's go back to the simracermerch.com replay and let's have a look at what brought out the latest caution of tonight.
Oh, 3 wide.
So you got
a squeeze on here.
You got Precy on the inside, Darren McKenzie on the outside. I believe that is the Warwick Sharp. Oh, Darren McKenzie, just a passenger there.
Shoulder. Give him the hip and shoulder. Yeah, as you said, McKenzie's done nothing wrong there. He's just minding his own business up on the top lane and nowhere else to go there. So that's all the way down into turn 2 by the looks of it. So gathered up whatever he had up into him in turn 4, but ended up being a bystander in turn 1, sorry. Oh, and gets collected.
Yeah, unfortunate. But yeah, Ruben tuning in on the Indasim Esports Network. Good evening to you, my friend Ruben. Thanks for tuning in and watching and cheering on the team and supporting us here at the Indasim Esports Network. I can... No, you go, sorry.
Aiden, that I think you put the mockers on Brett because not probably within 20, 30 seconds of you saying, I'm keeping an eye on him, mate. I noticed him pop up in the pit lane. I didn't want to say anything, but yeah, I did see him pop in there. So I'm not sure why he came down pit lane, but yeah, he definitely had to come in for some reason.
Well, I think, Dave, we might have to give it a bit of a mix of Aiden and Ruben, both of them putting the mockers on Brett Campbell.
Yeah, we might have to do that. They're talking in the chat now, but yeah, mate, you've tuned into the streams here plenty of times, and it's nothing new that Aiden Schultze puts the mocker on every driver at the Indasim Esports Network. So I just take the brunt of all of it. I've been trying to put it on the viewers lately, but you've just directed it straight between my eyes once again, first night out the gate. So thanks very much for that one, mate.
No,
but definitely,
I'm not letting you get away with nothing, mate. Don't worry about that.
But yeah, always putting the mocker on. But Gary Wellman will lead us to the point next time round. The lights are still out on the on the pace car. All right, it's trivia time once again, ladies and gentlemen. The most important part of the night, the Indasim Esports Network trivia, and it is. What question am I going to ask? Who has the most wins in NASCAR? No Googling, Dave, because you're on your computer. Who has the most wins in NASCAR at Chicagoland Speedway?
Off the top of my head, I'm going to say... what's his name? What's the commentator's name?
Not Aiden Schultz.
Not that commentator.
Right, let's change it. Not just who has the most wins on the track. So it could be NASCAR, Xfinity, trucks.
That's just on the track itself. So that has to be modern era because they didn't have trucks back in the day. So I'm going to say. And
it was only built in 2001 too. So
is it fresh?
Yeah, it's a freshie. So you're going Mr. Kyle Busch?
Yeah, got to be KB, mate. It's got to be KB.
All right, lock it in, Davo. So we're locking in Kyle Busch for Dave Douglas, as Carl Withy calls you, the big double D. We've got Steve Hoppett. He's saying Earnhardt Senior. Not sure that would be the one with it being built in 2001, but good guess nevertheless there, Steve. Paul, you're in the background there, mate. Lights are going to go out this time round, but jump in and give us your thought on who has the most wins around Chicagoland Speedway.
Paul's not available. You can leave your message after the beep. Beep.
Paul said,
yeah, no, I don't even have an answer for that, eh?
I don't even know if you're talking on the stream or not, Paul, or just in my ears. But if you did, he just gave you his voicemail. So leave a message, and his number is 1-800. Anyway, so we'll just bring him back to green. But the answer is, you're right, Dave, Mr. KB, Kyle Busch. He's got 10 wins. 10 wins around Chicagoland Speedway. But we're 117 into 134, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to go green once again for what is round 1, season 2 of the Australasian Supercar eSeries, brought to you by RayWhite, Royal Gayndah, Witcher Electrics, and the Sim Racing Edge. All the action brought to you here live on the InterSim Esports Network. What else would you want to be doing on a Sunday night? I know where I want to be, right here on the InterSim Esports Network. Strap yourself into those armchairs, ladies and gentlemen. Go get yourself your favourite beverage, a couple of bickies and a snack, because these 117 of 134 laps, the final couple of laps are going to go very quickly. Gary Wellman off the point, Raymond Yeager on the outside, Kate Donnelly, Aaron Dillon, your second row, Christopher Finlay, Sean Hart, your third row. Pace car is in. It's in Gary Wellman's hands. When's he going to decide to jump? And he does then, goes below the apron, gets a bit of wheel spin, but Gary Wellman with the jump on Raymond Yeager there. And Aaron Dillon, your man Aaron Dillon, going 3 wide as Aaron Dillon does. That was close. Kate Donnelly just saying,
the Simboys are ganging up.
There it is, teammates, and we're going to go caution. Raymond's up into the field. There's going to be a big one. They've all got past it.
Wow, how did he slice through that? That was massive, but that'll be Witcher into Yeager, I'd have to say. Wow,
yeah, Witcher into Yeager. Whoa.
Yeager got ganged up on the by the Simboys there, and then must have just lost all his momentum, and Witcher's had a look up the inside and accidentally made contact with his teammate there.
Yeah, and we're on the simracermerch.com replay. You can clearly see that. It's pirouette. It's I don't even know the word. Synchronized spinning there from the guys. They've got into each other a second time.
Yeah.
Raymond Yeager's taken a big right-hand down lock here, and that's just sent him back up into the field.
Yeah, all he can do now is just lock it down. And how's he split this gap somehow through here? Well done to the guys behind. Great job from the guys behind. There's one car that does swipe him down through here, but
Brett Campbell.
Brett Campbell gets a swipe going. But yeah, well done to the field there, because that was right at the front of the field, and for that not to be a bigger crash, that's good driving.
Yeah, good driving by all, and thank you to simracermerch.com replay for showing you all those pictures. But we're caution again, 119 of 134, and it's that time of the game. InterSim Esports Network trivia.
I'll give you a trivia, mate. I've got one for you.
You can give me trivia, but quickly before we go to that, Steve Hoppett said what was the answer. The Hoppett was Kyle Busch. The answer was Kyle Busch, and Ruben's in there saying yes, it's Kyle Busch as well. But anyway, I'm looking forward to this trivia. I've got Google ready. No, I don't.
Right, it's not a track trivia. It's just a general trivia.
Yeah, no, we mix it up here, mate. Fire away.
That's good, mate. Righto, what year was the closest Daytona 500 finish? And who were the true drivers?
Oh, I've got a double.
Yeah,
a double question.
Bonus points for drivers. I can do that without looking, because I was there. I was there for it. So.
Oh, really? So, all right, that's given me a little bit of an insight into a year. I know this one. It's very recent. I know it because he went back to back. Denny Hamlin.
Yeah, that's that. Yep.
Who was the second? He was running the FedEx 11. I remember this because he did the back-to-back 500. So Denny Hamlin, who was... we've got to decide what year. Martin Truex Jr.
Yep, you're right, mate. Your bonus points are in. Now, what year was it? That's a good effort, mate. I like that. Very well done.
I only had 2 to choose from, and I couldn't remember the other one, so I had to choose the one I remembered. What year? I've got no idea. It's recent. Let's go 2018.
Ooh, close, but not close enough, mate. 2016.
2016.
It was those two drivers coming to the line, mate. I was pumped because I didn't want Truex to win. So I was rooting Denny Hamlin all the way to the line, and he just got him on the line. Truex was leading through the tri-oval section. Denny Hamlin just nailed him on the outside.
0.01 of a second, if you don't like. I know that one because that's the same as the final round of the Australasian Supercar eSeries last season between Steve Williams and Cade Donnelly. So that is the Australasian Supercar eSeries. Denny Hamlin and Martin Truex Jr. right there. Stephen Williams and Cade Donnelly.
Well, Dave, I'm going to scrap Aiden's bonus points because he didn't get the first half of the answer right, so he doesn't get bonus points. But he should have listened to his teammate Ruben Phelps, who got that correct.
Oh, Ruben's on the wood. I can't see it, but yeah, no doubt.
I don't listen to him in race. I don't listen to him in race. Why do I listen to him now? No. Ruben, 2016. Took Ruben 10 seconds, he reckons. He reckons he's a little bit of a master of some NASCAR trivia. So if we get an opportunity, I'll get you, Dave, to direct a question directly to Ruben, because we were actually in a race the other day, and he did say he reckons he's quite good at the NASCAR trivia and thinks he'd give Joshua Carroll-Walden a little bit of a run for his money. So
yeah,
we'll see whether we
like it.
we'll see whether we get a chance tonight. If we don't, we'll put that in the bank for next time you're in the booth if you do join us here again. But 122 into 134. It's a Simboys front row on the restart. Wellman and Donnelly are those two. It's Simboys second row. Aaron Dillon, Christopher Finlay, your man, Mr. Dillon, Mr. Donuts, I call him, as you do.
Yeah, he's in the sprint lane now. He's in the box seat right behind his teammates. He'll be able to get the biggest jump, or not biggest, but the best jump of the lot at the front here. We'll see if he tries to make a move because we're winding down. We're going to be 11 laps to go when we get to the green flag here. It's time for the Simboys to start racing each other, I think.
And this is the time for them to do it. There are 5 of them there. They have to. There's no chance. It's wherever you look. It's Simboys at the moment. Sam Katakuznos, though, he's there in 7th. Sammy K's there. Matty Payton there.
Patton, up 21 positions, having a quiet night back there, but now is his time to strike while he's right behind them.
All right, here we go. Pace car in, ladies and gentlemen. Strap yourself in. 12 laps to go. We're green once again. Gary Wellman with the jump as well. And Cade Donnelly had a better start than what Raymond did in the previous restart. Your man, Aaron Dillon, ranging up on the inside as they make their way down into 1 and 2. Once again, Christopher Finlay just dropping down on the inside of Aaron Dillon as well. So as we thought, no orders here from the Simboys. They're race time, boys. Let's go. Troy Davidson on the outside as well. Sean Hart back up there in contention for this one. Payton's he's up around the outside. So Matty Payton, he had a solid run at Daytona on Saturday night as well, and he's backing up with good form here at Chicagoland. So the Pinnacle Esports pilot in the old livery, the season 1 livery, having a great run on the outside.
Oh,
There's big contact.
I think, is it?
Yeah. Sammy K with a big lick into the outside wall heading into 1, and he got a big help there, but he saved it. But that night over for Sammy K. But Scotty Rankin, I believe, was involved in that and gave him a big nudge. And who else is that on the outside there? It looks like that's Shannon Wright in the 230 entry. But let's go back to the point. With 124 into 134. The guys are getting the elbows out now. It's race time. Simboys, 1, 2, 3, 4. Sean Hart in 5th. We're 3 wide through 1 and 2. Matt Payton, if you don't like. He doesn't mind making it 3 wide. Let's go, boys, he says. As we go, there's a big incident in the background. Derek Jacobs, that is. He's going to have a big shunt on the inside. It is staying green. So that's night over for the 04 of Derek Jacobs. I'm used to seeing him
tight at the front. Cade is all over the back of Wellman. Oh, Patton's having a moment with one of the guys back there. Might be Stephen Williams.
Stevie Dubb, the DPR Simrigs.com entry, back up into a 9th position at the moment. So don't write off Stevie Dubb in that Simrigs.com. Look at this. What do you call, Dave? There's nowhere to look.
Nowhere to look. The next best, mate. At the moment, he's ranging up on the inside here. He's got a Pinnacle Motorsport. That must be Witcher. It is Witcher back there. So he's ranging up as well. He's going to try and help Sean out to try and help him out.
It's all happening. Sean Hart with 3 wide in the background. Matt Payton's going first opportunity. I'm going 4 wide, boys, because I need to get past.
Oh, they're bumping.
How's this for motorsport? on the Indosim Esports Network for a Sunday night.
Just
3 wide. Yeah, which is trying to get the run in behind Gary Wellman there. He's going to leave Sean Hart.
Oh, yeah, we got Aaron Dillon getting nice and cozy there. I think it was Scotty Rankin down there, possibly. Yeah, it was Scotty Rankin down there, actually. So 3 wide again down the front straight.
We're doing more oohs and ahs than when we watch a tennis match, ladies and gentlemen. It's ooh, ah. And so, big incident. There it is.
They're going to save it,
still
mate. Save it. So that's taking another runner out of the field.
They're using those walls to straighten each other up, but that was a big shunt. Absolutely big shunt. So it's now a runner 4 at the front. Sean Hart's just sitting there on the inside line. Looks like that's a safe place to be, as it looks like there's a lot of contact pushing you up on the wall. So Sean Hart in a good spot, but keep an eye on Aaron Dillon and Steve Williams in the background there. They'll range up onto the back of this one pretty quickly, but is there enough time? 129 into 134. 6 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen. Gary Wellman still leading the way. It's not going to end this way because your reigning champion, Justin Witcher, as you said, Dave, he is a reigning champion for a reason, and he's making that move on the outside.
Sean Hart's tight. There goes Kate Donnelly. He's in the defence now. So Hart got real tight down there. As you can see, Wellman now is defending for his life down the front straight here. He's got Witcher on his outside, Hart behind him. The other boys are ranging up. We've got Stephen Williams ranging up, Scotty Rankin, Aaron Dillon, all ranging back up into the lead pack.
And the Sim Boys cars have just dropped off like dominoes. There was 5 of them. They're now down to 1. So Gary Wellman's going to have to do this all on his own.
A lap car, if you don't mind.
A lap car. How's going to play a part in this, is he, as they make their way through 3 and 4?
He's pushing him into turn 3, which is pushing him all the way through turn 3 there.
No love loss here, but look at that. Stevie Williams, Stevie Dub, DPR.
Aaron Dillon has got Rankin all sideways there.
Got to look everywhere. That's not the end of it. 131 into 134. Stephen Williams on the outside. DPR, simrigs.com. We've got Justin Witcher on the inside. Stevie Dub with a great one. Scotty Rankin's going 3 wide. He wants a part of this as we go into 3 and 4 this time around. So Scotty Rankin going to have a go at this one as well. Thought he was going to get a bit tight there and go up into Stevie Dub, but Scotty Rankin, he's showing a bit of pace when it matters. 132 of 134 this time around, and Scotty Rankin's going for the lead of the motor race, and looks like he's going to get that one done through turn 1 and 2. Stephen Williams still staying on the outside there. Sorry, Dave, too, that I get a bit excited in my commentary, mate.
Wellman will carry down that momentum off the top of the track there. 3 wide down in the back straight into 3 here. We've got Rankin trying to make a move on the inside of Gary Wellman. Those boys at the back are still finding it out to try and make up that little bit of ground, but Wellman's doing everything that he can to hold on to the lead of this race at the moment, and he's doing a great job, mate. He hasn't let it up yet.
He is, and he's lucky he's got Steve Williams just staying consistently on that outside line, trying to get that run, because when he doesn't overlap him, it allows him to get that little bit of a push down the straight to not allow Scott Rankin to make that move. And you can see here, Stephen Williams, this is where the move's going to be, into 3 and 4. Is he going to get it? But this is going to allow Scott Rankin next time down the stretch, or down the front stretch, to get a little bit of a run. But it looks like Scott's trying to make that move as opposed to getting in that draft.
This time by too. White flag this
time
by.
White flag this time past.
Bring it home, man. Bring it home.
Round 1 of the Australasian Supercar eSeries, ladies and gentlemen. Who's going to take this one? Will it be Scotty Rankin? Will it be Gary Wellman? Will it be Stephen Williams? Will it be Justin Witcher, your reigning champion? Will it be one of the drivers behind? But it's between these 3 at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. Stephen Williams with a great run down the back straight into 3 and 4. Gary Wellman's in the prime position here to get the run off the final turn. Scotty Rankin nearly pushes up onto him. Stephen Williams around the outside as they make their way down the front straight for the last time. It's going to be Gary Wellman. Just keeps on to that one over Scotty Rankin. It looks like it's come home in second there. I don't know how that's happened, unless my live timing hasn't caught up.
Yeah,
but it looks like
Williams
Stevie
second,
Williams
Scotty
got
Rankin, Rankin third there. But, mate, tell you what, Gary Wellman had to work his butt off to keep that win there because, mate, he, as you know, he led us to the green flag and never let anyone past him.
He certainly did that, and what a race that was, ladies and gentlemen, for something that started off quite pedestrian for the RayWhite Rural Gayndah Australasian Supercar eSeries with quite a few cautions earlier. We were lucky enough to get some good green flag runs there, and just as we usually see here on the Australasian Supercar eSeries, a couple of late cautions created what is always an amazing finish, and Gary Wellman coming out on top for round 1, exactly the way he would have wanted to start season 2 of the Australasian Supercar eSeries. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is round one done and dusted. Before we bring the boys up into the broadcast booth and Gary Wellman goes through and does his celebratory donuts, let's bring up your unofficial results for round one, season 2 of the RayWhite Rural Gayndah Australasian Supercar eSeries here on the Indosim Esports Network. So we bring them up. Gary Wellman brings home P1. Stephen Williams, great comeback drive there to come home in second. Scotty Rankin rounding out your 3. Sean Hart and Aaron Dillon will round out your 5. Reigning champion Justin Witcher in 6. Christopher Finlay 7. Matt Payton, solid top 10 finish there in 8th. Greg Spencer for 9th. Sam Katakouzenos held on for 10th position. Andy Barber will come home in 11th. Dwayne Priest in 12th. Cade Donnelly 13th. Terry Marwood come back to finish 14th, 2 laps down. Joe Torcasio coming home in 15th. 16th spot will be Ash Nessa. Aaron Bryan in the 17th spot. Troy Davidson, after leading most of this race, unfortunately comes home in 18th position as we roll over the page. So we roll over the page into the 19th spot was Shannon Wright. Rounding out your 20 was Derek Jacobs, 4 laps down. Brett Campbell in 21st position. Raymond Yeager 22nd. Warwick Sharp 23rd. John Quast 24th. Pete Matson will come home in 25th. Philip Howe 26th. Darren McKenzie come home in 27th. Michael Shaw in 28th as we go through your final 8 place getters. So in 29th was Jamie Nankervis, Nigel Payton 30th, Ian Quast 31st, Blake Tilbrook 32nd, Evan Horswell in 33rd, Max Riley 34th, Tommy Pritchard will come home in 35th, and rounding out your 36 car grid tonight was Maddie Simpson. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is round one of season 2 of the RayWhite Rural Gayndah Australasian Supercar eSeries. We'll just wait for these boys to come down into the green room. I can see 2 of them there at the moment, so I'll bring them up in a minute. But Dave, thanks so much for joining me in the booth tonight. I hope you enjoyed it, mate.
Yeah, it was good, mate. There's plenty of strategy going on there. I didn't know which way it was going to go, but then the cautions come out, and it all come down to a big dash to the flag, which was very entertaining. So a big field, 36 cars, and they slowly dropped off like flies, but yeah, very entertaining.
And cautions are the big evener, aren't they? You can run, and sometimes, and I know from personal experience, and you would too, you can run 120 of 134 laps, and you pretty much led the whole thing. You're pretty comfortable, yep, and you're going around, and then bang, the caution comes out, and that is a game changer, and that's exactly what we saw tonight as 5 Simboys cars started off the first 3 rows there on that restart, and it was a game of dominoes for them, and only one ended up on the podium.
Yeah, it is, mate, and that's it can be a heartbreaker. You can dominate a race and still not win it because of a late caution. We didn't expect Sam Katakouzenos to be up there at the end of it. He ended up in the wall, but he was up there fighting for it, and even though he was way back earlier in the race. So
yeah, he was.
Until it's over.
Yeah, never over till it's over. Sam Katakouzenos, that's the one that could have been for him, I think. If he didn't get into the wall there at the end of that one, he could have finished a little bit higher up, not taking anything away.
Stays green there as well, I reckon. It was his race to lose at that point.
Yeah, most definitely. But we've got the top 3 place getters up here in the booth. And we're going to go straight across to Scotty Rankin. Scotty Rankin, mate, Schultze here in the booth. What an amazing race. You definitely had pace a lot of that one. Congratulations on your P3.
Yeah, I mean, frustrations obviously early. So first green flag pit stop, I actually was coughing the whole way down the lane. I think I ran out about 3/4 of the way down the lane and, had a pit booth very, very near the front end of things. So, look, I mean, I stretched the fuel as far as I could go. I just heard you guys talking about Sam as well. Sam set up a great strategy, and I think, to be perfectly honest, I should have said to him, he said he was making a lot of moves on the high side, and Steve got me around the high side there at the end. But that was an absolute cracker. Every time there was green flag running, there was a cracking race.
Well, mate, I tell you what, it was a cracker up here in the broadcast booth. I usually talk a lot. Dave hears it on the stream, and he was in the booth tonight because I had a few internet issues earlier on in the broadcast, and I quietened down a little bit tonight, Dave. You might have settled the Schultze down tonight because I wasn't quite as boisterous as I usually am. But
is that possible?
The boys were talking on the track, I think. The boys were doing a lot of talking on the track.
Mate, it's happened, Scotty. It's happened, mate. He's quietened me down, so Davo must be the thing. But speaking of Davo, mate, have a chat to Scotty.
Yeah, Scotty, mate, you're saying you're coughing down the pit straight. That's never a good thing, mate. So I don't know if I picked it up or not, but yeah, obviously you dropped back a bit there. But Would you have to just roll into your pit box there?
Yeah, clutched it. Ultimately, I was staying above 70 kilometers an hour most of the way down pit straight. Probably about 20 or 30 meters shy of the booth was when the engine finally sputtered at last. So perfect's a little run into the box. Look, I mean, great race all night long. I mean, I was pretty confident that I could control the Sim Boys when I went a lot further than them on fuel. That middle stint of the race was all about tyres, and I took the big sacrifice, and I was pretty confident that should that one have gone green to the end, that I would have had the best tyres and been able to run up and through them. I was actually hoping that it would go green to the end, because through the middle part of the race, you have to having to lift so much. My tyres actually at that green flag stop just before the caution came out was actually 0% in the middle of the tyre and 3% on the inside. So I literally used all of the fuel at one point, used all of the tyre, and apparently didn't get all of the podium. So that's next week.
Fair enough, mate. We did see you come fighting in that last green flag run, though. We saw you split the guys up the middle, actually. At one point there, you were 3 wide in the middle making the moves, and it paid off for you because it got you into a position to fight for the lead there at the end. Yeah, there was a lot of contact and door-to-door rate. Like, it was perfect. It was honestly, in that last sort of 10, 12 lap run, it was perfect. Like, door-to-door, exactly what you want from stock car racing, and it's, the only difference is it's our cars over on their tracks. So I don't think I'd ask for much more. It was all about preventing the wheel scrub. It's Steve. Look at the runs he was getting up on that top side. I'm regretting giving him that top lane, to be perfectly honest with you, and I just wish I could have worked with him. Gary and I have had beef in the past, so it was good to actually settle that out on track cleanly tonight, and good omens for the future as well, which is what I'm keen for. So beautiful. That's what I like to hear. A bit of beef, mate. Never goes astray out there, mate. Well done.
Thanks, brother. Thank you.
Well, no, Scotty, mate, sensational job there on your P3. You've had a lot of pace lately and everything you drove. So it's good to see you up on the podium, especially here for round 1 for season 2. Of course, you're going to have a lot of people to thank for that P3, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is the car and the livery that I've got here is a bit of a partnership. I started my own team and then got invited to a team of racers over in America. So big shout out to Golden Chimera, which is my brand and my wife's brand. So big shout out. I've got 24/7 race control. I'm going to be really mean here and say big thank you to Flat Out Racing Network, who's the guys I actually broadcast for with my commentary. So apologies to say that sort of stuff on somebody else's stream, but they're a big part of what I do. And I've got a sponsor page here somewhere. They made one for me on Discord, and I've lost it. So.
Well, mate, it's all right for you to have a little bit of a shout out, mate. I had the pleasure of sitting in the box with you for about 10 minutes, mate, at the 1000 the other day. So you're entitled to do that. But jump in and finish what you're saying. Yeah. So a big shout out to Sim Racer Coin and Sim Thunder. They're actually paying the Indie Autosport team, which is the American partnership that I'm a part of, in some NFTs. So there's Sim Racer Coin, which is it's a great deal for us to have. And a big shout out to Martin Sports Apparel. I mean, they've been hugely supportive and getting some new gloves and things going and new racing shirts. And then as well, big shout out to Shory and his new clothing business as well. I'm looking forward to getting some shirts done out of him. So. No worries, mate. Well said. Congratulations once again on your P3. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Scotty Rankin will be your P3 place getter for round 1, season 2 of the RayWhite Rural Gayndah Australasian Supercar eSeries. That leads us to our second place getter tonight. Not quite enough. The DPRSimRigs.com entry is Stephen Williams. Tell you what, mate, you were making that top line work for you late. You come off the win at the Indy at the end of season 1 and didn't look like you were going to be there in contention, sort of probably with about 30 to go, but you got that simrigs.com car up the front when you needed to.
Yeah, cheers for that. Yeah, I got a stop and go penalty, and yeah, I thought that was it for the night because just couldn't seem to get back on the lead lap. But yeah, it was a good run there at the end on the high line. I was surprised that it really worked.
Well, it definitely did. Just couldn't quite get over Gary. Gary was doing a great job in that mid lane there, but good job nonetheless, mate. How did you get back? You got back from that stop and go. You were 1 lap down at one stage. Did you get the wave around at any stage that we missed, or you did that purely on driving?
Yeah, no, I got the wave around there, second last caution, I think it was. And I was thinking I was going to miss out on it because the leaders kept on putting someone a lap down, so they were the lucky dogs. So, I kept on having a target to chase every couple of laps, and I thought the timing of the caution was going to catch me out.
Davo, over to you, mate.
Yeah, Steve, mate, I did notice that you were a few laps down earlier there. I only came in after a quarter of the stream had started and noticed that you were down and missed probably about 20 laps. And I thought maybe you got into an incident. But, obviously we were able to work your way back up there. But, mate, I thought you might have had something for Wellman in the end there because you were on the high side there. He looked like he got a bit tight with Scotty on his inside there. What was the run to the flag like there, mate?
Yeah, I knew it wasn't quite going to have the momentum unless there was a bit of rubbing and stuff like that. But then, it's too easy just to all NNTs and massive pile up being the 3 cars in the front there. There was no point pinching them down because I thought I'd be the loser of that.
Yeah, fair enough. But as Aiden said, you were making that high line work, and I did see you sort of once you got there, you stuck with it. Come up a little bit short in the end. Well, when I say a little bit, 0.05 a little bit short. So unlucky, but good P2 though, mate.
Cheers, thanks for that.
Well, Steve, of course, you're going to have a lot of shout-outs and thanks to people involved with your P2 tonight. Yeah,
thanks to the league for putting this on again. It's a great series to be involved with. Intersim broadcast for doing the stream. Simrigs.com, Southwell Lifts and Hoists, Ben Max Mechanical, BetSmart Racing Services, Alcoholder, Phoenix Smokers, NP Designs, and all the boys at DPR Racing.
No worries, Steve. Congratulations once again on your P2. There you go, ladies and gentlemen, your second place getter tonight for round 1, season 2 of the RayWhite Rural Gayndah Australasian Supercar eSeries. It was the DPR Racing Simrigs.com entry of Stephen Williams. That leads us straight across to your winner, Gary Wellman. I've seen you on socials, mate. You come off the back of a little bit of hiking, mate. That must have got you in a nice frame of mind because you come home in P1 tonight for round 1.
Yeah, it's been a busy week, mate. I've did the Bernie 10 fun run today too, so that was I was feeling pretty cooked, and I didn't know how I'd go keeping the eyes open, but got there, and stoked with how that turned out.
Well, we usually see there's no team orders for the Sim Boys racing cars, and you guys were chockers there on the first 3 rows in that final restart. And I said on the broadcast it was like a little bit of a domino effect. You were all there, and then all of a sudden you were the Lone Ranger with everyone else. Did you feel a little bit alone there for the last couple of laps?
Yeah, I was trying not to look in my mirror too much. I had a bit of a bit going on the Discord chat, so I knew it was all happening behind me. But I was kind of doing it on my own there, and I didn't think it would sort of be that way. But that's kind of obviously what happened, and managed to hold my groove there and hang on to the end.
Davo, of course, over to you, mate.
Gary, I was going to ask you how much actually mirror driving you were doing there, because for those last 10, 15 laps, mate, you had a lot of pressure. They were coming at you left and right from everywhere. But I just wanted to know how you held on after those so many laps of all that pressure.
Oh, yeah, she was intense. I didn't need my mirrors because I could see Scotty to my left and Steve to my right. So that's all I need to worry about. And that was crazy, but it was good racing, good fun, and I was pretty happy. End up kept the car straight and
absolutely, mate. Yeah, for sure, you did everything right, mate. And as I said, brought home P1. That's all you can ask for, mate. You can't do much better than that. So well done, man.
No, cheers, mate.
Well, mate, you come away with P1 tonight, but you head across to Charlotte Motor Speedway next week on Sunday night. How are you feeling ahead of that one? Do you think you can back up with a double?
I don't know about that. I'm always happy to take a win, but I'm never looking too far ahead from that. So I just want to keep it consistent. And last year was a good year. Ended up second for the year, and if I can keep it up the pointy end a few times again this year, I'll be pretty happy with that.
No worries, mate. Well, congratulations again for taking out round 1, season 2 of the RayWhite Rural Australasian Supercar eSeries. Of course, your time to have a big shout out to everyone involved in your P1 tonight.
Yeah, mate. I don't have a sponsor list, but I've been doing this for about a year now. It's good since I moved back to Tassie. You could just find something to do during the cold winter nights. But it's just Sim Boys again, mate. Same deal. We're just you'd have a good time. I'm always trying to improve my racing. I know people get we've upset a few probably, but end of the day, I'm here to improve and run up the front, and try and just keep looking to improve, and that's about how it is.
Well, mate, we've all upset a few at some point, mate. So you won't be the first, you won't be the last. We like it. We like a little bit of rivalry here on the iRacing network, mate, and we love calling it even more on the stream. So congratulations once again on your P1 tonight.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Yeah, you can't beat a bit of rivalry, and shout out to me missus, I suppose too. She was sitting there watching the whole race tonight, first time, so she might be my good omen there.
Oh, she is, mate. I'll give you a bit of an insight too, Gary, and the viewers. We are going to bring up some webcams for you moving forward in our stream, so we might have to get that one sorted for you, Gary, so you can have your webcam up and we can bring your mug up on the broadcast, mate. So if you don't have a webcam, go grab yourself one.
You have to do that and give your missus a tap on the shoulder, mate, after the P1, mate.
Yeah, mate. She'll be up for it.
Yeah, kiss on the cheek,
good.
mate. Thank you.
Mate.
Thank you. But there we go, ladies and gentlemen. The winner of round 1 of season 2 of the Australasian Supercar eSeries, of course, brought to you by RayWhite Rural Gayndah, the Simboys Racing entry of Gary Wellman. So, Dave and Paul, that brings to an end round 1 of the RayWhite Rural Gayndah Australasian Supercar eSeries from Chicagoland Speedway. I tell you what, boys, it definitely didn't disappoint tonight.
No,
sorry, Paul. I definitely didn't, mate. It was a bit unorthodox for me jumping out of bed, mate. I was happily eating a couple of clinkers, mate, sitting back watching the cast, and then all of a sudden Aiden disappeared. So I thought I'd help out, but no, it was good. As I said earlier in the race, you didn't know which way it was going to go. So much strategy going on. There was cars all over the page. You didn't know where it was going to end up. And then, as I said, caution at the end there just brought on some cracking racing towards the flag, to the checker flag there, I should say.
Yeah, it definitely did. And Paul, quickly, did you want to jump in or?
I'm feeling a bit left out. I don't have clinkers, but no sharing yet. But
mate, you've got other stuff that was keeping you company tonight, so you're all good to go.
Yeah, black and white can here, Jim Beam on it. But season 1 ended with a bang. Season 2 kicking off with a bang. So if the rest of the season is anything like this, we're going to be in for a show every week.
We definitely will, and we'll get on with what will be round 2 of season 2 shortly. But ladies and gentlemen, don't turn your eyes away from the InterSim Esports Network over the coming days, because on Tuesday night, we're going to bring you the next instalment of the Blendline TV Procar GTE Championship. Your location will be Suzuka, so we'll bring you all the action here on the InterSim Esports Network from approximately 6:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time or 7:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time here on the InterSim Esports Network. So if you like your Porsche 992 racing and Suzuka, please tune in here on the InterSim Esports Network for what will be a cracking night. Then we will go to the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series for the next round of that, and it will be from the famous Daytona International Speedway. All that action will be brought to you live here on the InterSim Esports Network this coming Friday night. We'll go live again from approximately 7:30 p.m. this time Australian Eastern Standard Time or 8:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time, wherever you are. And then, of course, we will be back here on Sunday night, 7 days from now. Mark it in your calendar. Round 2 of season 2 of the RayWhite Rural Gayndah Australasian Supercar eSeries. The location will be Charlotte Motor Speedway, another 134 laps of supercar racing around the ovals. We will go live from 6:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time or 7:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time, wherever you are. But that wraps up round 1 of season 2 of the RayWhite Rural Gayndah Australasian Supercar eSeries. Your winner tonight, Simboys Racing, Gary Wellman. We thank you all for tuning in. We thank Paul, we thank Dave and everyone involved in the InterSim Esports Network. And we wish you a good night. We'll see you on Tuesday.